Welcome to the Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. I am your host, Tonya Hofmann, and like every time, I have an amazing guest star. And today is no different because we have the amazing Miss Tilde Guajardo. Hey, Tilde.
Hey, Tonya. Thanks for having me. And you did awesome with the last name, by the way.
As we hear from Tilde in just a minute, I wanted to remind everyone that we are booking for speakers right now. So if you've got a message that you want to go out there and change the world from the front of the room, we want to help you with that at the Public Speakers Association. So we're looking for virtual summit speakers, the TV show, and then we have 2 video series, Your Story and Transformational Tips. So if you want to get out there and really make an impact on this world, get in touch. Just simply go to Public Speakers with an S, association all spelled out.com to find out more today. All right, so let's get into it. So Tilde, tell me how fabulous you are and what do you have going on nowadays?
Well, there's a lot going on, a lot different direction than ever before. I can say that. I mean, as you know, we're constantly evolving, and 2017 has been a year of total transformation, not only for me, but for my business and stuff. So really looking at many different avenues. And the first thing is really for me to get out there and start teaching more, getting, doing workshops, seminars, and really focused on teaching how to find yourself. The question nowadays is, who are you? And it's really one of the most difficult questions for anybody, men or women, to answer, because we get so bogged down with job titles, or we're so-and-so's husband or wife. And so I think there's real confusion about who we really are. And so God has really impressed upon my heart to teach that, because that's what in essence has brought me the most happiness and joy and peace, and really allowed me to have the time of my life, when I did the work and found myself. And I, obviously interviewing hundreds of women on camera and off camera also has sort of shown me the process that happens to us, that we have to go through in order to find ourselves all over again and find that connection with our highest self. So I'm really excited about it, and putting together workshops and courses and seminars, and looking to go to Europe in 2018 as well. So lots of exciting things, that I'm just remaining open to, and doors just continue to open for us.
Love it. I know, there's that moment in your life that you like, what am I supposed to be doing? I know I've had that. You've had it happen to you. I love the quote, life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. But then you're like, well, what do I create? And a lot of it is fun, right?
Right. And even what do you want? A lot of people are like, I don't know what I want. I don't even know where to start, really. And so for me, it's facilitating a space and just asking people the right questions that maybe they've never contemplated before, because the answers are always within us. They're not outside of us. So, doing a little bit of past history work, because a lot of times we have limiting beliefs and traumas that we're still kind of stuck in, and replaying the tape in our heads that we need to move through that, and a lot of fears that might be holding us back as well. So, the work is centered on 4 pillars, which is self-awareness, self-transformation, self-love, and the self-actualization piece. And once we learn that sort of cycle, then we can always, when we find ourselves stuck at any point in time, then we can always go back and do what I call a life hack cycle. Go back and see where we're stuck and start all over again, So things like divorce or difficult breakups, maybe losing a job, that kind of stunt or keep us from moving forward a lot of times, because we're still in shock of it all, and we really don't know how to move forward. So that cycle sort of, for me, is a great visualization to see, okay, I'm here. Now I need to get to here. What are those things that I can start doing again to help me start to move forward again and evolve into my next version, the next version of myself. So things like that I think will really be helpful and beneficial. My biggest hope is that the courses and seminars that I teach really help people see their worth, their value, and how much they're loved, so that then they can manifest that, out into the world themselves and touch other people's lives in the process.
I love that. I always have a goal every year is to look back at myself the year before and not recognize myself.
Yep.
And in order to do that, man, you really got to do some things. You're like, what? What do you mean? How am I going to do that? What am I going to do? And it's like really pushing yourself to do some really amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like this past year, I literally have sold off everything because I kept hearing, get ready to go, get ready to go. And I sold my house. I literally got rid of it. I moved everything into a small studio, which is where I'm at now. And because I kept feeling like I'm supposed to go. I didn't know where, but then all of a sudden, as soon as I moved into this place, boom, the door opens and I'm being invited to go to Europe and teach and train and, hopefully launch this amazing business there. So it's terrifying, and because you have to trust. It requires a lot of trust and faith, and but really listening also really to my spirit, and knowing that if I'm aligned with my higher self and with God, then there's nothing to worry about because it's all going to be provided for me.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot when you said that it's also about, loving yourself and self-care and everything. Yeah. I think that's such a huge part of it. I really had to learn to love myself. And I always love showing people my before picture in 2005, right? This was me as an introvert, not loving who I was, not loving the way I looked. Obviously, I was trying to hide. This was me at a holiday gala. Yeah, this is the way I So this was me hiding everything, And,
yeah.
You would hear people say you got to love yourself, and you're like, oh, okay. But the hardest thing for me was to look in the mirror, because I had an exercise from a coach, and it says, you look in the mirror and you tell yourself that you are fabulous, that you're amazing. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I went and I'm like, I'm pretty good. I couldn't say it. And then I realized, there's something to this. There's some issue.
Yeah, absolutely. It's critical for us to be able to look ourselves in the eye, and say, I love you, or you're loved, you're powerful, you're wonderful, you're beautiful, and to actually mean it, and I'm all about positive affirmations, but I'm also about resonating them, because you can say amazing quotes and positive affirmations all day long, but until you begin to believe them and to live them yourself, they're not going to mean a lick of beans, So I try and teach people how to get in that same vibration or energy to where you're feeling the meaning of what you're saying, not just saying them to say them and hope to attract all this great stuff.
Right. I totally get it. And don't you feel that, like, a lot of times we look at somebody else and we're like, well, that person, of course they're fabulous. Of course they've got this great business. Of course. And we put that of course in front of everything, because then it makes us feel like, well, it kind of discounts why we haven't done that or whatever, right? But we didn't see their journey. We all have a journey.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And the journey, I mean, for me, my personal journey, when I tell people that I had a lot of anger, and I wouldn't even call it anger, I would call it rage, fear, and shame because of my childhood trauma that I had experienced. They're like, I can't even imagine you getting angry. And I'm always like, you have no idea. That I still get angry, but I have the joy. I decided in my 20s, after an amazing spiritual experience, that I was going to do the work and, become the person that I saw myself as. And so, and being angry and ashamed and afraid, and always playing the victim wasn't serving me. So I really, and when I was 24 is when I made up my mind I was going to, change my stinking thinking. And I devoured scripture for me. For other people, it might be other things, but for me, it was scripture and retraining my brain to think in a positive way and to love myself, to realize how loved I was. And then also reading books, that talked about anger management, that talked about, other things that I needed at that time. And since then, I have continued on that journey of evolving, and becoming the woman I am today. And I think we all forget that that's the whole point of living, right? Is the continual evolvement that we're supposed to be going through. And not because we don't like ourselves, but because we just want more and we want to be better. We want to do better.
Yes, I know. We must have the same life, because that's always the challenge, right? I had, I was robbed and tied up when I was 6 months pregnant. I've had cancer, and those are the good things. And people are like, oh my gosh, how could those be good things? But I was great that you did it when you were in your 20s and started evolving. I waited until I was 38. So at that picture is the moment that I looked at that picture and I was like, wow, that
yeah.
to go away. What is wrong with her? And really reaching out and just like you said, is, starting to change the mindset. And I love that.
Yeah.
So I know you have something to give to our listeners today, which is going to help them with their mindset, right? Because they're going to
yes.
So tell us what that is.
Absolutely. So for your audience, if they mention Tonya Hofmann, they can email me at tilde@womanars.com. That's TILDE @womanars, WOMANARS.com. And I will provide them a free 30-minute session with me. So please take advantage of it. I welcome you. And like I said, just put Tonya Hofmann show in the subject line and I will know exactly what you're talking about.
So I don't care when you're watching this, take advantage of it. Because,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, hello, why wouldn't you not? So yes, definitely get connected with Tilde. You definitely want to get to know her anyways. And then, wow, what an offer. So I think I'll just do that to myself. Thank you so much, Tilde, for being on today. I can't wait for you to be back on again.
All right. Thanks, Tonya. Appreciate you and appreciate your audience and everything that you do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, all righty, everyone. So come back and visit us on the next show because we will have an amazing guest star, just like Miss Tilde, and maybe not quite as good, but we'll have to get over it, and we'll just have some more fun. So thank you, thanks Tilde, thanks everybody.
Thank you.